Alright guys, so we're going to be talking about completing the square. Okay, so there's a few things that you need to know first. The first thing that you need to know are some of the steps. Okay, so we're going to write some steps for completing the square, and then we're going to go from there. Okay, step 1, a needs to equal 1. If not, then divide. Okay, step 2, it needs to be in the form ax squared plus bx equals c. Step 3, you need to must add, don't subtract. Add b divided by 2 squared to each side. Step 4, factor left into perfect square. Okay. Step 5, square root both sides. Okay, and I'm going to take a picture of this and put it on my webpage for you. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so we'll get back to more of that in a minute. Now let's talk about your worksheets for today. So on page 11, you have something that looks like this on number 1. It says x squared plus 14x plus 49 equals 36. Now, this is a completed square that's already done for you. And we're going to talk more about how to complete the square in just a second. Okay? Once this is done, so basically what's happened here is step 1 was taken care of, step 2 was taken care of, and step 3 was taken care of. So now we're on step 4. We're going to factor the left into perfect squares. So on the left-hand side, what we're going to do is we're going to look at our big X. We want to multiply to our C value, our 49, and we're going to add to 14. So 7 and 7 multiply to 49 and add to 14. Okay, so again, we started this problem at step 4. We haven't done 1, 2, or 3 yet. We're going to talk about those in just a second. So if I split this into my factors, it's x plus 7 times x plus 7. If we remember our shortcuts, when we have a leading coefficient of 1, these guys continue and combine to make our factors. And this equals 36. Okay, well, since I have 2 of them, this is really x plus 7 squared is equal to 36. Now we need to do step 5. We're going to square root both sides. So I factored the left into perfect squares, and now we're square rooting both sides. Okay, so we're going to take the square root of this side and take the square root of this side. So those go away. So now you have x plus 7 equals the square root of 36, could be positive 6, or x plus 7 equals negative 6. Then you have to solve each of these 2 problems. So we're going to minus 7 from each side, and x is negative 1, and x is negative 13. Okay, so let's do more. Let's look at number 4, right there on that page number 11. So number 4 is x squared minus 18x plus 81 equals 49. Okay, again, on this problem for you, steps 1, 2, and 3 are done. We are just doing steps 4 and steps 5, which are a little tricky. All right, so I make my big X. I want to multiply to get 81, and I want to add to get negative 18. Oh, well, negative 9 and negative 9. And these numbers should be the same for all of them, okay? So I'm going to have x minus 9 times x minus 9, which equals 49, which is really the same thing as x minus 9 squared is 49. I square root each side so that I can get my squared away, because I need to get the variable by itself. The square root of 49 is 9. It's 7. Just kidding. And x minus 9 equals negative 7. Add 9 to each side. because we're just solving these little one-steppers, and x equals 16 and x equals 2. Okay, so now let's talk more about these upper steps. So if we look at number 5. Number 5, oh, go away cord. Silly. Okay, number 5 says that we need to find the value of c that completes the square. So it's p squared plus 42p plus c. Okay, so this is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay, we want to complete the square. So we're trying to figure out c. So this would be the number that we would add to each side. So what you do is you take your b value and you're going to cut that in half. Then you're going to square that answer. So 42 divided by 2 is 21, and 21 squared is 441. So that's your c value that completes the square. That makes this a perfect square to factor. Okay, let's do another one. Number 6. So if you had r squared plus 40r plus c, so we're trying to figure out the c value. So you take your b, you divide by 2, and you square it. So 40 divided by 2 is 20, and 20 squared is 400. Okay, and be careful because if you do this with a negative number, so for example in number 7, you have negative 38, and you divide that in half, you get negative 19. Okay, now here's the problem that students do often. They take this and then they square it. So they'll do negative 19 squared. This is wrong, okay? You're saying negative 1 times 19 squared. I want negative 19 squared. This is my answer, 361. You should always have a positive c. Always a positive whatever you're adding. Has to be positive, okay? All right, so now let's do some more. All right, now we're going to actually complete the square. We're going to do some problems together that are actually completing square problems. So number 11. Okay, number 11 says a squared plus 10a plus 14 equals 0. So we're going to go through step by step. Does a equal 1? Yeah, and the a I'm talking about is my leading coefficient here. It has to equal 1, and it does. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete my square, and I need to move this cute little 14 to the opposite side because I don't want him hanging out here. So let's just get rid of my 14 first, and then we'll complete the square. So a squared plus 10a equals negative 14. That's fine. Leave it as a negative. You're going to be okay. In order to complete my square, to get my c value like we did on these other problems, you're going to do the same steps. So we're going to take our b value and cut that in half, and then we're going to square. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 5 squared is 25. So I'm going to add 25 to each side because it says add whatever you b divided by 2 squared to each side. Okay, so now we're on the third step. So I'm going to add 25, so a squared plus 10a plus 25 equals negative 14 plus 25. Okay, keep it going. Okay, so now I'm going to factor this like we did on number 1 and number 4. This is what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to get my big X. I want to multiply to 25, and I want to add to 10. Well, 5 and 5. And again, these should be the same number. So we have our a plus 5 times a plus 5 equals negative 14 plus 25. Oh no, negative 14 plus 25, which is 11. Okay, so remember there's 2 of these, so this is really a plus 5 squared equals 11, and then we have to square root. Okay, so now we have a plus 5 equals the square root of 11, because this isn't pretty, and a plus 5 equals the negative square root of 11. I'm going to subtract each side by 5, And remember, you want your real first before your, well, I guess your whole numbers before your radicals. So this will be a equals -5 plus root 11, and a equals -5 minus root 11. Usually they're opposites. They're like the same answer, but opposites. Okay, so positive 11, root 11, negative root 11. Okay, let's try another one. All right, number 14. Okay, on number 14, we have v plus 10v minus 56 equals 0. Okay, so does my a equal 1? Yes, my leading coefficient is 1. Next, we need to get it in the form ax squared plus bx equals c, so I'm going to add 56 to each side. So now I have v plus 10v equals 56. Okay, then I have to figure out my square to add, so I'm going to do 10 divided by 2 squared. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 squared is 25. So I'm going to add 25 here. So v, oops, hold up. I forgot my cute little squared. I'm sorry. V squared plus 10v plus 25 equals 56 plus 25. Okay, so we just did this one. So the two factors here will be v plus 5 squared, and then 56 and 25 make 81. Oh, that's so nice. Look at that. I picked a nice one. Okay, and then we need to square root each side. So then we have v plus 5 equals 9, and v plus 5 equals -9. So we're going to minus 5, minus 5, minus 5, minus 5. So v equals 4, and v equals -14. Okay. Let's see. Let's do one more together. Oh, Hen. Can't use that paper. It's got drawings on it for my kids in school. Okay, hold on. I'll rip this one up. Okay. Sorry, technical difficulties. Let's do number shoot. Okay, we'll do number 18. I don't have any leading coefficients on this paper. I was just looking to make sure. Okay, so we'll do number 18 together. Then you can practice. So we've got n squared minus 20n plus 19. Okay, so again, the first step is if a is equal to 1, then divide, and it's not equal to 1, so I don't need to divide. Then I need to get it in the form ax squared plus bx equals c. So we are going to minus 19 on each side, and then you have n squared minus 20n equals -19. Then we need to add b divided by 2 squared to each side. So we're going to take our b value, divide by 2, and square it. -20 divided by 2 is -10 squared is 100. Okay, so I'm going to add 100 to each side. So we have n squared minus 20n plus 100 equals -19 plus 100. Okay, then here I could big X. I want to multiply to 100, but I want to add to get -20. Well, -10 and -10 multiply to 100 and add to get to -20. So n minus 10 times n minus 10. And if you want to, you can skip that step and just go to n minus 10 squared, if you're fine with that. Then we have -19 plus 100 is 81. Oh, it's so nice. I love it. Love perfect squares. Square root each side. Then you have n minus 10 equals 9, and n plus 10, no, just kidding. And minus 10 equals -9. And then we're going to add 10 to each side. Then we have n equals 19 and n equals 1. Okay, please let me know if you have any questions. Email me, reach out. I can make more little videos for you. Have a great day, guys. Bye.